Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about automatic Coop doors and if they're worth it. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. So I have 4 chickens in my little backyard, little homestead, and they are beautiful and wonderful and I love them. And I used to have, just the door that I would open by hand. I had a little hitch on it that I would just hitch up in the morning, leave it open all day, and then we'd have to come out at night and close it. We also have an exterior door to the run that we would close as well, just for extra protection from predators or my children, honestly. So it has 2 barriers of protection, which is so great. But unfortunately, my door, my little swinging door, the trim cracked a little bit, so we weren't able to lock it anymore. And we were putting a stick in front of it and then just closing this door at night and kind of crossing our fingers and hoping for the best, which isn't great advice. Obviously, that's something you'd want to get fixed right away, but life's been a little busy. Thankfully, Chick Cozy reached out to me and I was so excited to work with them. So thank you so much, Chick Cozy, for sending out an automatic Coop door at the perfect time. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of having an automatic Coop door. And honestly, guys, it's very simple. Let's start with the cons. There are none. I'm just kidding. Honestly though, it was really hard to even come up with one. I love my automatic Coop door. It is beautiful. It is amazing. We are so excited by it. It was so easy to set up, which I'll get into it in a second here, specifically the one from Chick Cozy. We kind of were waiting a little bit because I was just like, oh, I don't really need to spend money on that. I had just built this chicken coop and I just didn't want to add any more money onto the cost of it. And honestly, I was like, I don't think I need one. You guys, when it is, hey, be nice. You guys, when it is the summertime and they want to get up at 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and it is raining, you'll be very thankful to have an automatic chicken coop door. Seriously, having to trudge out here in the freezing cold, especially if you live somewhere where it's cold, where there's snow. I live somewhere where there really isn't, North Carolina, but I used to. I lived in Canada, so I know what it's like to have to get up at the crack of dawn and just be wishing that you could be crawling into your bed. So this Coop door is amazing in the sense that it opens up for you. You don't have to get out of bed. You don't have to run outside in your PJs and pray that the neighbors don't see you. It is fantastic. So I guess we're starting with the pros here because honestly, I just can't say enough good things about it. Specifically the Chick Cozy one, I was really excited because most of the ones that you see actually open up vertically. So they take up a lot of space vertically, obviously, but this one fit my door perfectly. I didn't have to take off any of my trim that I had on there. I didn't have to repaint anything. It literally just slid right into place with 6 screws. It was super simple, amazing. I was so happy about it. So this one opens up horizontally, so the doors open to the side, and I just feel like it just saves so much space. It's very pleasing to look at. I really love it, you guys. The biggest pro I have to say, since that's just where we went, is that you don't have to get out of bed to put your chickens out. You don't have to, if you're going out late at night and you're like, oh shoot, my chickens, I need to close the door, especially if you live in an area, if you've had a problem with predators, as soon as it gets dark, they can come out. Thankfully, we haven't had that issue. There have been times though where we've forgotten to close our door overnight. We've forgotten to close our door, not until 10 o'clock at night, and the automatic Coop door makes it amazing. So that way, if you forget, there's no problem. It's gonna close for you. So as I already said, the main pro is that you don't have to worry about forgetting. This door is gonna do it for you. It's gonna open for you at the set time you want it to, and it's gonna close for you at the set time you want it to. So that kind of covers everything. That's the main reason why you're getting an automatic Coop door, is just so that you don't have to do that manual opening and closing of worrying about if you slept in or if you waited too late or if you were gone too long. It's all taken care of. Now, the only con that I can see with this door, honestly, is if it were to malfunction, which thankfully it's battery operated and so far has worked amazing. We definitely did keep an eye on it for the first couple of weeks, and you want to keep an eye on it obviously every day, making sure that your chickens get out okay, that it closes okay. But for the most part, you don't have to think about it, and it's wonderful. But the biggest con is that I'm not seeing my chickens first thing in the morning and the last thing at night. I used to be the one, running out, making sure they were all coming out, making sure everybody was okay, everybody had their food first thing in the morning, and then at night making sure that they were all put up, checking to make sure all 4 got in good. So that's the only con, is that, I feel like with convenience, sometimes we can pay a price for that. Thankfully, nothing has happened. All of our birds have made it in on time. We set the timer later than even when they go in, just so they have that wiggle room to make sure everybody makes it in, but before obviously nightfall happens and anything else would want to get in with them. But yeah, that's the only thing, is that I feel like I'm not as hands-on with my chickens as I used to be, because you know, you can fill their food, you can fill their water, their door opens. What do they need? You know, check on them in a couple days. I'm just kidding. Obviously that's not good chicken ownership. We don't want that. But I will say there's been times where, you know, I just get into the hustle and bustle. I've got 4 small kids. I get into the hustle bustle of life and I'm like, oh shoot, you know, are the chickens good? Did they get out okay? And thankfully every time they have, we've got full battery on this thing. It works amazing. We haven't had a single issue with it malfunctioning. We've had it for several weeks now. I just feel like, you know, it just, with everything, it takes, you know, one step away from the natural side of things, which honestly I'm okay with for this, because I'm not running in my PJs through the pouring rain, and I'm okay with that. So now getting into the Chick Cozy specific, because that's the one that I have. So you're able to pick from 2 colors. There are green and orange. I'll be honest, my favorite color is white. And so I would have loved if it came in black or if it came in white. But the green, honestly, it looks good. I thought it wasn't gonna look that great, but it does look good, I'll admit. I even thought about actually painting it myself, but for now, I actually really do like it. So it is either battery powered or you can plug it in. We don't have any electricity out there, so the battery works great for us. What I really love about it though is that it actually tells you the percentage of battery. So it's at 100% and the batteries are supposed to last about 6 months on average. Obviously it might be a little bit less if you're manually opening and closing that door a bunch, if you're messing with it, but for the most part it should last about 6 months. I keep an eye on it, you know, about every week I'll look at it. Still at 100%, which is awesome. And then for programming it, it does come with instructions. I will say it took me a second to figure it out, so I'm gonna include some clips here of me doing that. But basically you can set this to open with either time or with light. I chose to go for time just because we do have a lot of trees and I didn't want the shade to interrupt the time of the door opening and closing, and I don't know, I just preferred, because I know when they typically come out. Right now we have it set to 6:20 in the morning to open. My husband goes to work at 6:30, so then he's able to see if they're out and they're about and check on them as he's, you know, going to his car. But in the summertime I'll definitely lower that time, probably closer to 6 and then 5:30 if they need it. And then right now we close it at 7:45 because they're typically in bed by 7:30. It sounds so funny to say, but they typically put themselves to bed by that time. And then as you know, we're creeping more towards summer, I'm gonna go ahead and increase that time to 8:30 if I need to. But just keeping an eye on, you know, what they're doing. The great thing about this door is that it does have a crash detection. So if a bird is in there while it's closing, it'll stop and I think it opens and closes 4 times and then it'll just stay open. So that's something to be aware of. That's awesome. I love that that is built in there. That just gives me peace of mind. So specifically what gave me a little bit of a hard time when I was programming it was just setting the time. So what you have to do is lightly press OK after you have the minutes and it switches to the hour. It is in military time, so you might need to refresh yourself on that if you don't know, or just look it up on Google. So you set the minutes up or down and then hit OK lightly. My problem was that I was hitting it too hard and then it just said time updated. I was like, no, I have to change the hour. So lightly press OK and then you can change the hour up or down. Same thing to whatever you want. What you first have to do is set the time that it currently is. So you just go in and you select time, put the time that it is currently right now, doing the minutes and the hours, and then once that has updated, then you can set the time for when you want the door to open and when you want the door to close. And honestly, you guys, that's pretty much it. It's very simple. Like I said, I was able to put it exactly on my trim, screw in 6 screws. It's so lightweight and it opens beautifully. It took the chickens a second to kind of figure out like, okay, I feel like something's new here. I don't quite know what's changed. And they were a little hesitant at first, but honestly, after they went in that first night, they haven't had a single issue and we're all loving it because there's no more of them, you know, balking inside if we've slept in, if it's the weekend, you know, maybe we stayed up too late. They can just go out right when they're ready to because we have it open before they're even awake. So anyways, you guys, that is it for this video. Basically 100% yes, an automatic coop door is worth it. When I first built this coop, I was like, I don't know if I need one. You need one. You quickly realize, like I said, if it's cold, if it's wet, if it's early, it saves your life. So I hope this video helped you guys. I hope you guys will check out Chick Cozy. Honestly, they're a great company, really great people behind the brand, and it's just a really, really awesome, beautiful product that we are loving. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you have one, if this has convinced you to get one, and if you're looking into Chick Cozy. So follow them on Instagram. They have great blogs on their website specifically themselves about raising chickens. Lots of great information for you guys, as well as where to purchase the product. So I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.